Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Paolo Del Rosario.
We give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite sports icons and athletes. I'm Boom Gonzalez. Tonight, we'll celebrate the victory of our national football team's under-19 squad, and we'll look into what's to come for the Filipinas in the FIFA Women's World Cup. But before that, let's talk about the crazy five-setters that happened last night in the PVL.
Buckle up, sports fans. So let's get in the game.
So we ended the first quadruple header of the PVL Invitational Conference with not one, but two heart-stopping matches. F2 Logistics gunned it out until the very end, maybe till the next day na nga, to stay undefeated against the Choco Mucho Flying Titans, while the new and improved Cherry Tigo Crossovers get their first win against the Akari Chargers. And joining us to figure out what happened in those crazy hot matches is volleyball analyst
Fiery action!
Tunay, ba't ka natawa na sinabi ko hot
talaga? May hugot talaga tayo doon sa
wala
hot.
akong hugot. Yun nga yung una kong tanong eh. You always have the inside scoop on the PVL. What was the inside scoop on the venue last night? Why was it hot from morning till evening? Let's start with that.
Mainit talaga, yung labanan. Kasi, sorry guys, pagod pa ako. Ginabi talaga tayo sa Philisports dahil mainit nga yung labanan, and I guess it's my first time also getting to watch a game like that na dalawang five-setters. Pero yung pangalawa, na parang it's a complete turnaround of things for F2. So for me, first time kong maka-experience ng ganon, and all thanks to challenges pa, no? So, yeah, mainit.
Hindi sinagot yung tanong ko pa.
Oo nga eh.
I wanna know!
Magaling talaga mag-PR to eh. But Mela, you mentioned it, yung challenges, very crucial. What does it say about yung coaching staff ng F2? Considering that is probably one of the biggest reasons why bakit sila nanalo.
Yesterday, we were actually talking about that sa fan stream, no, na may nagtanong kasi kung gaano ka-sure ka ba kapag crucial parts of the game tapos tatawag ka ng challenge. And Ate Z did mention na kailangan, group effort among the coaches. And I believe it was one of their coaching staff who did insist, and super sure siya, di ba? I just don't know the name, but he was super sure na may net touch sa Choco Mucho. So, I guess, talaga siya, I mean, the players had their highlights of the game, but it was also the coaches. Ganda na labanan ng timeouts yesterday, ng substitutions, kaya ako all out. Salute talaga to both the coaching staff. Yeah, actually.
Ang ganda ng 5-set na, nung una, baon na yung yung Choco Mucho. They were down 3. 4-7 was the score, I remember. And, 4-7, F2. And then, humabol. And, Nela, tama ba? They were, what? Was it 11-14? Yung hinabol? Or 13-10? Yung hinabol ng F2 at the end. So, ang ganda, both teams really showing comebacking abilities.
Yeah, parang 14-11 yata
yes,
yun.
right?
And there was a parang...
match point, tama.
The camera was pointed at the bench players of Choco Mucho, and parang they were all cheering, isa na lang. I don't know why I had this feeling.
Nakita ko yun si Maika.
Shucks, parang wait lang Kasi kinakabahan ako sa ganon. Pag hindi pa tapos may parang nag-claim na agad.
Nakita ko yun.
Kasi na-experience ko na rin yung mga ganyan.
Claim ba yun?
Alin?
Hindi ba, kine-claim ba yun? Hindi ba parang
ina-attract, kini-claim, ina-attract. It's the same thing. Of course, if that's your team, you would want to attract as much energy.
Right.
Pero sabi nga nila, it's not over till it's over. Sabi ni Chang Abi sa post niya. So that's exactly what happened.
Alam mo, it's not over till it's over, but then right after the game, si Rondina actually said that there was a silver lining despite that type of loss. And you take a look at it from that lens, from that point of view. Anong silver lining for Choco Mucho from, well, at least watching?
Well, syempre, sabi nga natin, pool of death yung pool B. And if you're gonna lose a game there, that's the best way to lose. Yung 5 sets, tapos lamang na lamang ka sa quotient, hanggang dulo na deuce pa, di ba? So, you gathered as much points. You didn't win the game, pero kung magkatalo talaga sa mga quotient, lalamang etong Choco Mucho over the teams like Petrogas na hindi pa nila nakakalaban, pero si Petrogas kasi natalo na sa Signal. So, medyo maaga pa. Bibilis na yung games this week, pero if it comes down to that, at least may advantage yung Choco Mucho on that end.
Pinapakita ngayon na Mela yung net touch na challenge.
Grabe talaga yung challenge na yun.
At match point nga. Well, silver lining, how about 28 points for Choco Choco, Mucho. Let's talk about the stars. KKD was tremendous with 24. CC Rondina, as we mentioned, with
28.
16 digs and 15 receives. Classic CC Rondina line. Who else stood out? Talk about those two first, Mel, and then who else stood out for
Well,
both?
for me kasi expected na this game na the usual top scorers would be Kiana or si Cici, and if the team really did their scouting, medyo malilimit nila kaya lang the girls talaga were too powerful, and of course
good, yeah.
credit to the setters also who both did an amazing job really distributing their sets well, kaya yung mga middles nag-shine din yesterday, and I wanted to transition to that note na sabi nga sa Boom, watching Choco Mucho, it wasn't like a CC Rondina show yesterday.
It wasn't, but you're
Diba? Parang she only got highlighted na, parang dinala niya na naman yung team kasi 28 points by the end of the game. Pero during the first 3 or 4 sets, before Des came down, before Cherry Nunag came out, for me talaga, the X factors were them. Na parang, yun nga, kasi big thing yun na not all the attention is with CC Rondina, especially going up against a team like F2 na very ironic yung nangyari kahapon na lamang palagi yung Choco Mucho sa kanila in terms of blockings, diba? So that means na naka-scout talaga sila ng maayos, and at the same time, yung atake nila, na-scatter talaga yung blockers ng F2.
Panapos na lang. Panapos na lang ang kulang.
Pwede to maging podcast sa totoo lang. Just taking a look about all the top points here. Kasi so many players stepped up in that particular matchup. But let's go to the other 5 sets. Cherry Tigo against Akari Chargers. Cherry Tigo getting an important win in terms of yung development nila, especially with all the young players there. What did you make of that game?
Pagpasok ko kapag sa prod room, yun yung pinapanood, diba? Sabi ko, oh my gosh, yung Akari, parang mga ka-5 sets. So, I was really surprised kasi syempre, Charitigo, like we always talk about nga, expected sila na parang, it's just an easy walk in the park, especially loaded nga sila. But yesterday, ironically also, the wingers of Akari scored more points collectively compared to like Paat and the Laure sisters, diba? So, I guess for me, the X factor in that game talaga was Ponggay, and yun nga yung development nandun to Ponggay personally, diba, sa transition niya into another position, being a middle.
Blocker,
Siya yung nag-set ng difference for me kasi yun din yung Waterloo nitong Akari like nag-score constant yung kanilang mga wingers pero medyo mababa yung output pa rin ng kanilang middles, and Ponggay scoring 11 points yesterday made the difference for Charitigo.
6 points in that second set also, which was a big deal. Kami ni Jamie, we did a game and we were already joking at the start. We really thought it was a 5-setter. I had a feeling it was a 5-setter. Maybe because it was a Faith and Aya game.
That's one thing.
Alam mo, we only had 5 Faith and Aya showdowns in the UAP dahil nagkaiklian na nga ng COVID and all that. Siguro dito mas marami tayong makukuha in the pros. But you also talked about the others. Elisoyod was also big. Bang Pinedo was big. What do you think? Sabi mo important game in their development, but this is also important to keep in step dahil sa short tournament natin. Akari, anong nagkukulang pa sa mata mo, Mela?
Well, I did mention na yung middles nila kasi ngayon talaga sa PVL, loaded mga teams ng mga wingers Actually, even yung mga bench players pag hinatak mo, 'di ba? Yung middles na lang talaga yung kulang kasi I also wanted to highlight Bang Pineda dahil in terms of attacking, ang dami niyang na-dig talaga yesterday and naka-counter sila. Kaya kung makikita niyo sa stat sheets, yung attempt and successful points na nakuha ng Akari and attack, sobrang dikit lang sa powerhouse na Charitigo. So I think kailangan lang talaga ng mas discarded within the game and magagawa lang nila yon if their middles are really getting more experience.
Mga ganon.
Yan, wait lang dyan!
Well, writing's on the wall. But, Mela, we can't keep you here for too long, unfortunately. But for those who want to
naman
see...
natin. Pauwi na
She needs to get her rest,
tayo
okay?
kagabi.
But then you can catch her in the Pilipinas Live, in the fan streams especially, where unfiltered si Mela Tunay. Mela, maraming salamat. Really
Thank you
appreciate
so much, guys.
So, after the break, we'll shift over to football to talk about the Filipinas who cracked the lineup for the FIFA Women's World Cup. Stay tuned. You're watching the game. Welcome back to the Games World Cup. Now let's break down the lineup of the Filipinas ahead of their stint in Australia and New Zealand with football analyst and former national team member herself, Mariel Benitez.
Cap!
Yes.
You could still be playing.
Good to see you, Cap.
Mariel, so we were talking a bit off the air about this roster. And it's always going to be tough to break it down to 23 from yung 29. You take a look at the players who were selected. What can you say about yung grupo na to that will represent us for the first time in the FIFA Women's World Cup?
Well, I mean, I think if you are in their position, it has always been competitive within the team. Everyone knew from the start that we qualified that players would come and go throughout the months leading to the competition. And so I think it's just right that the team or the players that were selected are the players that the coaches feel best to represent in the Women's World Cup. You know, I mean, I personally, I'm gutted that Ina Palacios did not make the 23, knowing that from the time she was playing, I was with her in the team, and you know, she really was there through the years. And I mean, this is a realization of that dream a decade ago that, you know, that was born. But again, she's still part of the squad. She's in the 26. She's a reserve, and she'll be there in the whole experience. But then again, I mean, the girls who have been selected, it is an opportunity for them to play and represent for the Philippines and experience the Women's World Cup.
When the roster came out, Mariel, what were your thoughts in terms of what would the direction or the style of play was going to be that you thought about when it comes to the coaches? So this is probably what they want to do. This is probably what they want to achieve with this kind of roster. Sometimes you can tell from that build-up. I don't know if you can answer that question.
Well, this would really just be my opinion.
Yeah, your opinion, yeah.
I would think that we would have to be very solid on defense. I mean, playing up against Switzerland, who's 26 in the world, Norway, who's 12 in the world, and even New Zealand, who's host.
The hosts, right.
Yeah, so Switzerland is 20 in the world. So, I mean, you're going up against teams who are very experienced, who are probably physically stronger and taller than the Philippines. So, you need a solid back line to be able to counter or to be able to even move the ball forward. So I think with the selection, there's a lot of how do you say, maybe focus on a solid defense, and then you have a midfield that has been tried and tested where we can really be fast, be quick for counter attacks. You have the likes of Gilyu, Egesvic, Savici, who are experienced. And then you have our goal scorers, Quesada, Bolden. You know, you also have some youngsters who have proven their worth in the tournaments prior to the Women's World Cup.
Freeles, Flanagan, a lot of girls there who could make a big difference. So you take a look. Let's do the dangerous thing here. Let's set expectations. Now, when you take a look at, you mentioned yung competition natin.
Yes.
We're going to be underdogs ranking-wise, no matter what. But we played New Zealand before, and it was actually a close game.
Yes.
In fact, contentious game, if I do say so myself. You take a look at the competition we have. What can we expect from our Filipinas, and what should the fans expect when we actually make our debut?
Well, I think just the other day, New Zealand played against Vietnam and they just won 2-0. So I'm very hopeful that when we play New Zealand, it would be a match for us to win. Switzerland, it's something that we have to really bring our A game to be able to beat Switzerland. Norway might be a bit of an ambitious goal to take the win from that. But I think we are capable of playing them, keeping the goals maybe low against a team like Norway, who's very experienced and who's very physical and has been to the World Cup many times.
Yeah.
And regardless of results, and I'm not here to talk about moral victories or anything like that, this is where we want to be anyway, right?
Yes.
This is where we want to enter and then maybe do some damage, whether it's this year or some other years. This is a learning experience. This is us trying to figure out what it takes to be at this level, right?
Yes.
So those, we have to say that also. And then everything else with, we're hopefully going to make history also in this run. Speaking of history, Anika Castañeda, the lone homegrown in the lineup, what can you say about, what is your opinion about that? And is there anything we should be worried about or to celebrate in a situation like that?
I think celebrate because obviously to have someone as a homegrown like Annika, we've seen her as a youngster playing here, club football, and then you see her as a part of the rotation of Coach Allen.
Yeah.
No, so she has proven her worth. She is quiet as a player, but you see her play, and she has scored goals for the Philippines. She's currently playing overseas, so that's good experience for her. And I think even after the Women's World Cup, whether she pursues playing overseas or back home, definitely you can say that she'll be bringing in that kind of influence to other homegrowns that she'll be playing with.
Yeah.
So I would think that's something to celebrate, and maybe something for the homegrowns to see that that's the quality, that's the kind of competition, the level you have to be part of this Women's World Cup squad.
You know, just really quickly here, she's an inspiration to a lot of the homegrown talent we have here. But in general, the Philippines being there, just how inspiring is that to, especially the grassroots, to all the stakeholders here in the Philippines, to see a Philippine team in a World Cup?
I mean, it's historical. It's something that I pretty much just dreamed of throughout my playing years, and now it is reality. The young players, it's something that they can now achieve, dream of and say, it's possible to achieve.
Right.
You know, you don't go into, if you're in the youth national team, you don't go to just participate in a competition. You go to win. You go to really represent the Philippines and win the competition, and you know that it's possible. So it's a huge, it's a huge factor that we actually made it through. We've, the women's team has been making milestones in every tournament.
Correct.
Yeah.
So the challenge now we pose to the younger players is, how do you now sustain that kind of dream, that kind of success?
You actually asked a good question because we're gonna ask that very soon.
That's a segue. Kaya nag-host talaga yan. Sanay na sanay.
She's all set. We didn't give her a script. Alam na niya.
You're not leaving us, Mariel, but great to end that segment with that inspiring message. In the meantime, after the break, we're moving from the present to the future, as she mentioned, of Philippine women's football, as we chat with the under-19 squad back from Indonesia. Stay with us. You're watching The Game. Welcome back to the game. We've talked about the Filipinas set to debut on the FIFA World Cup stage. Now we're joined by the next generation of Pinay athletes following in their footsteps. Fresh from their stint at the AFF Under-19 Women's Championship in Indonesia, we're joined by Nick Duran, Jada Bisiero, Marika Chua, along with the youngest teammate, Coach Mariel, still with us to help us out here. Marika, let me start with you. Just tell us about the experience. You know, let's not concentrate on results in a situation and in phases like these, Mariel. Let's talk about the whole.
It was really good. Like I'd probably say like the biggest takeaway was just like how like other countries, like the neighboring countries play and everything, and like how like you've got to like be
How different it is?
yeah, like it's like different because like it's like different levels in different countries. So yeah.
Yeah, Jada, you take a look at that experience and being able to represent the country, especially with what the Filipinas are doing right now. How does it feel being part of yung sistema na to, this youth program, this pipeline to be able to develop and of course having to learn what steps you need to take going forward?
I feel like what I got most is that it's a privilege, especially since we all tried out. We're all coming from different schools, different provinces. I think it's really a privilege that we're in this spot and we have a chance to make it to the youth and to represent and to also be behind them. It's though like though we had many struggles, I feel like it's a stepping stone that we are able to play like this and able to learn from our seniors.
Nick, what is some of the learnings from the struggles from the experience? I know.
The learnings were like how we handle the pressure.
Okay.
And especially for me because it was my first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know, because I was just Coach Joyce told me that I was just recommended to the national team, and I want Coach Let that I want to earn the trust of Coach Let of introducing me to the national team, and I hope I didn't disappoint her at that.
So, Mariel, did she?
No, I mean, Nick was part of the FEU team that played in the UAP and that was the recent champions.
Yeah.
And for her to have her first international game, hindi siya halata. So she really played out. And even the girls, we told them that, you know, you can't ask anything more from them, even from a loss against Myanmar. We led them 1-0 at the half and kind of just gave, you know, they scored 2 against us in the second half. But you can really see that the girls gave everything, left everything on the pitch. So unfortunately, it resulted to a loss. But I think there's a lot of learnings and takeaways from there. And hopefully that from their experience, they continue to build on what they experienced and what they learned in the tournament.
Marika, I gotta ask highlights of the whole experience for you, and what are you looking forward to in the coming months and the next experiences for you?
I'm definitely like looking forward to like putting what I learned in this tournament into like just like when I play my regular games back home and everything.
Yeah, so let's see. And we want to see that development too. And of course, really quickly right before we go, they mentioned that it's a privilege representing the Philippines. It was your first time. Can you tell us how it felt actually playing with the Philippine shirt on?
It was so surreal because I just got the message Friday night. Friday night, I was like, someone like just asked me like, are you flying back to Manila already? I was like, I don't know, I'll be back by June 25th because that was the date Coach Let gave us to go back to the dorm. And I was like, I don't know. It's like, why would I go back that early? They were like, because Coach Joyce mentioned your name during the huddle. And I was like, Coach Joyce, I didn't receive any email, any message or anything.
So biglaan, you were surprised.
Yeah. It was like, and Saturday midnight, I got the email from PFF.
Yeah.
And I was like, is this real? I was like that. And Coach Joyce, I reached out to Coach Joyce, and Coach Joyce like talked to me. It's like, okay, give me your number and what province you are now, and I will book, PFF will book you a ticket, and that's it. I flew to Manila Wednesday.
Wow, okay. Nick, that I did not expect that. But you know what? We'll get more into that at a later date. But girls, again, thank you for representing the
Thank you so
Philippines.
much.
And we can't wait to see what's up next for you.
Yeah,
Thank
we're,
you.
we're looking forward for more for the three of you and the rest of the team, Maria. It's good to see you again. Thank you very much for
Thanks
being
for
here.
having us.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for joining us tonight. I'm Boom Gonzalez.
And I'm Paolo De Rosario. This has been The Game.